Okay, this is my first ride on the Intense Tazer Expert 21 model I just picked up from Paradise Garage, my good buddy Dan down there. Picked that up last night, so I thought let's just ride. I know I did a kind of an initial video of it, but just kind of talk about some different stuff. Sometimes when I'm riding I think of things better. But first off, just the standing feel, just the floating feel, kind of going through this stuff, your weight, the way your weight is in the chassis. That's what I'm fascinated by on this bike. I don't know why it feels different, but it does. And that's what kind of made me want to get one for myself. There's just a certain feel through the bars and pedals that I really like. Now this is the Expert, so it's the lower model version, lower price model, $62.99. That's fairly reasonable for a full carbon, full suspension, 160 mil travel up front, 155 in the back, Fox Performance 38 fork and X2 shock. I mean, that's pretty good, reasonable. It's not crazy like some of the stuff is. In a Shimano motor, man, I thought for sure it was gonna feel a lot softer, but I'm running it in boost. But even in trail, it's got a real natural pedal cadence, which I like. And sometimes when you test ride them, I could notice a little kind of gear lash. And I've noticed it on some Step 8 motors or the Shimano 8s, but I don't really feel it so much on this one. Of course, when you're riding, some of this stuff doesn't stand out as much. You don't notice it. It's not really a big deal. But the overall handling on this bike is what I liked. Now this thing has, I think, 165 cranks, so not as much ground clearance as my 22 Levo, which I believe are 160s. And the bottom bracket's relatively low on this bike, maybe 345, 347. Another thing about this Shimano motor is I think it just likes a little higher pedal cadence. Seems to give you more power the faster you pedal, but again, it's a very natural feel. And this bike, for being a somewhat big, burly, downhill kind of bike, feels darn nimble. Really much more nimble than I thought it would, even in some of the tight switchbacks. But just the weight through my handlebars and my feet feel really cool on this bike. Very much like I'm on my motorcycle, my motocross bikes. And I like that feel. Wheelie over stuff. It's so nice to be out here. This is a really good fall November day in Ohio. It's in the 60s. It's going to be like a high of in the 40s in a few days. So you got to take advantage of this. Now, one thing I did notice on this bike is I can hear some rattles. The motor's not, I don't think it's the motor, I think it's the battery. But it's not a, I mean, you're just going over a bunch of trail junk and you might hear some stuff. Like I have to really pay attention to it. Honestly, I hear more leaf noise than anything. But yeah, it's there. But the motor, man, I think this older Shimano motor is pretty solid. I don't hear much noise, and the power just feels good, especially for guys that are in shape. You don't need a crazy amount of power, but I do tend to like more power myself. But the bike feels light. Flipping it back and forth feels really nice. And it's kind of confidence inspiring, just the way it feels, even kind of going over some bumps and bunny hopping it and stuff. Back end is lively. Here's the end of the trail. Got a little kind of fast section right by the road and the reservoir. So this is just my first ride. Really pumped to get some more miles on it and try maybe some different suspension settings. But honestly, it's worked really well today. I haven't really felt any big need to change much. Kind of in the middle. I like the pedal strike. I like the way the forks and shock feel. So 2021 Intense Tazer mullet. This funky rear suspension, I like it. Feels like a dirt bike. It's kind of low in the back. It just has really good feel for the pedals, handlebars, especially standing. Playful, confidence, got good grip. Man, I am surprised. I really like this bike. Shimano motor, honestly, it works great. Let me see how many. I only used 1 bar for 1 lap. Wow. I can't go that many laps here. I guess I could go 4 more laps. 25 miles. I'm not up for that today, but sure is a beautiful day. 2 thumbs up on the 2021 Intense Tazer Expert.